Welcome back to Full Count Podcast. Today I wanted to open it up with AJ because he has some perspective on stocks, and this is gonna hit home for those listening and watching. And there's a quote that goes on by Michael, who's an investor that's well known, and he basically says the following: most people are wrong. The collective wisdom of the crowd is wrong. The market is correct. A lot of people are upset that the market's on the upside, but the reality is, as much as it may not make sense to them, that it should be lower. It should be crashing. They're just plain wrong. And Bezos even said contrarians like AJ are normally always wrong. It's not just you, but a lot of people on the internet that think the market's too high and it doesn't make any sense that the market keeps going higher and higher. They just happen to be wrong. It's just the overall collective is wrong.
Nah, they're wrong.
Period.
And yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it's like I kind of can't argue with any of that stuff because who controls the markets? What's controlling the markets? So the market's always right. Okay, but there is something
not always,
controlling. But... No, but think about it. There are people setting laws, just setting things in place to kind of steer the market at the bare minimum, right? So if the market is always right, but there's people steering the market, then, okay, you could prove to me whatever that the market has always been right. And contrarians like myself, as much as I am a contrarian on many things, I would be playing in the stock market more if I had a mind that wanted to delve into those things more. I just don't want to delve into those things more personally because I put my money more into myself and into my business, right? But somebody who maybe has extra cash, a lot of extra cash, and can kind of have their business on autopilot, they can probably delve into it more. I remember reading or hearing a lot that Josh Brolin loves to trade in the stock market.
Yep.
So I mean, dude, there's a lot of downtime on set. He's making millions of dollars. If he's like on set doing his research, his market research, doing all these things, hearing things from people here and there, that makes total sense to me, and that works. I'm not saying that Josh Brolin sucks for doing that. It's awesome, but for young people, I feel like they kind of have to focus. And a lot of my friends, they lost a lot of money doing things like gambling, crypto, stock, because they know it's like, this is what makes money. And it's like, maybe if you just focus on one thing and stick to it, you'll make money that way. So
basically it's just not your cup of tea for investing. And because of that,
right now.
Right. But because of that, you're not necessarily a contrarian then technically by saying the market's too hot. You're not that type of guy then right now. Even though all the stuff going on, you're not necessarily saying the market should be down and it shouldn't be high like it is.
Well, it probably should be down. Who's buying things? Who's buying things?
People with wealth. People with wealth.
But that's not
even
a lot
regular
of people.
No, not a lot. Well, what's the statistic? A proper question to ask. Let's see.
You got to think too and factor
62%.
62%. Okay.
That includes retirement, mutual 401ks, IRAs. So 62% of adults.
Most boomers that did things correctly have that.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Yes.
And Gen X and millennials.
Right.
A few millennials.
You got to factor in all the people.
A lot more millennials. It depends on your network.
Look, why don't you ask it? How many millennials have a 401k?
Good question. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
full
you.
of those.
The producer mind. Let's see. Percent of millennials.
60.
That.
I'd say 40 stocks. Max. Oh, own stocks or have a retirement 401k.
It's 45 to 57% that own stocks, but let's see about retirement that own a retirement account.
Wow. So probably less.
It should be less.
I'll be surprised if it's
roughly 75 to 85% of millennials are saving for retirement through a 401k or similar plan. That's pretty high.
What? That's very surprising and very good to hear.
Older data suggested it was only 50%, but recent research from last year indicates 75 to 85% of millennials. I think a lot of that has to do during the pandemic. A lot of people opened up an account and threw money in there. So maybe it technically should be 50.
Why don't you ask it how many Gen Z?
No. Well, hold on. On that point, right? I think a lot of it.
Let him speak. Come on.
Yeah.
No, yeah, come on, Nick. Like, you go ahead and talk. Like, this guy. I'm just kidding.
I appreciate
No. Go ahead. I was just saying, why don't you ask it? Get that, because I'm thinking about making clips, so it'd be nice to also have the Gen Z stat.
I got it.
Yeah. No, we could definitely hit on that, right? But majority of our generation, millennials, Gen X, we were fed the narrative that, oh, go get a job, climb the corporate ladder, put in for a retirement account, and then you'll be good to go. And that story, that game has completely changed. So that's why I think that percentage is so high, especially among millennials, because we were given that story, and now we live in a completely different world that we don't necessarily, that we're just blindsided by.
It's not the same world as the one that we were giving instructions for. 100%. It's a different game.
Yeah. 66% of Gen Z.
Okay.
Not bad. I mean, a lot of people still have.
No, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah, Nick's out. He got scared.
Nick, you keep saying you get scared. He said Nick's out. He got scared.
I don't know where the fuck you got that from.
I don't know. I like it though. Okay, so we came to the realization, like that quote said earlier, contrarians are generally wrong. It sounds like, right? I think so. I think that's what we came to, even though AJ's shaking his head.
No, I had said that there's no way to really measure when contrarians are wrong, so I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Should we keep it? Should we move on?
It's a contrarian thing for me to say, but I just don't.
Okay, so
I mean, I think the general population is going to be wrong. If you look at all the huge investors, right? They already make moves before the general population follows. So, and then the general population follows after that, and then by that
they know something most don't. Yeah, and that's why most people aren't super wealthy.
Yeah, well, when you put it that way, of course, yeah, the market will always be right against like a small guy that doesn't know anything.
Nick,
100%.
You won that battle. Thank you very much. Moving on. Yeah. Data centers. Let's go. We touched on that a few episodes ago, but there's more to it that's a little bit concerning to people's health. Is that what it was, Nick?
Yeah. I mean, last time we talked about how it was just taking up land and electricity and especially water, right? And it's becoming even more so of a problem. But I mean, specifically for farmers and ranchers, right? Because these data centers are taking up the land, they're taking up the energy, but even more so, they're taking up the valuable water resource that's needed to irrigate the crop, provide water for the livestock. But
why are farmers being targeted? Is it because data centers are being built on farms or near farms? Is that the problem?
Yeah, and the same, because you need huge rural areas for these data centers to be built, right? And then you're pulling in all the water from the area, and a lot of the times, like if you look at the Midwest, a lot of times there's droughts that happen, and water is scarce already, let alone using hundreds of thousands of gallons of water, for these data AI centers.
So how does that work? Why do they need all that water?
To cool the servers.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, what's it doing to the animals and the crops? Like, is there pesticides being thrown out? I don't think so, but I thought there was like some examples in the study or something.
No, I don't think there's any type of pollution that's affecting it. It's really just the water for the irrigation and the electricity.
So it's obviously impacting farmers because they're not getting the water to their crops and their animals, and what are they doing about it?
And they're lobbying against it, is what they're doing. Yeah. But how impactful that is to be determined. Right.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, they're lobbying against it, but how impactful it is, it's to be determined. Right. Yeah. If they're gonna make any type of impact. I mean, I think I haven't seen anything specifically on this just because I didn't look this up specifically, but I'm pretty sure in these smaller towns they are getting leverage as far as banning the building of these data centers in certain smaller towns, certain areas, etc. But I think it's been an ongoing battle, between these ranchers and farmers, and then the big corporations that are building these data centers.
I don't know why we can't just destroy those windmills that you guys have over here somewhere in California close by.
Yeah,
Just-
we have them
just-
on the way to Palm Springs.
Just
too.
knock those out and just build data centers there. You know what I mean? Just like
Yeah. Do you think they really want to be wrong though? They don't want to be. They don't want to claim they're wrong because they built those to.
But
be
they're gonna
energy
need
efficient.
they're gonna need the data centers more than they need like the efficient.
100%.
You know,
But there must be some contracts there, obviously, where people are making money off of those, and those things kill a bunch of birds, by the way. So all the no, they do.
I know.
So all the people that are all about animals.
Yeah, it's just that's not a strong argument against them.
No.
If they do give clean energy, then
I'm
it
not
wouldn't be a
protecting
strong
them.
argument. Even though I love birds and I love animals, there would have to be something like, okay, maybe we could set up a fucking net around it or something so that it's not happening to the birds or shit. But
Yeah, I actually agree with that point of view that you have. It makes total sense to me. There's plenty of land there, but all I'm saying is I'm not arguing for not doing that. I'm just saying there's a reason why it probably won't happen, unfortunately.
Why can't they build it underground?
The heat.
I think that's probably an option. It's cooler, right?
But right, it would be cooler. But the other thing is like, I think if you're living if you're living underground of a fucking humongous data center, you're probably going to be giving the whole town like not only cancers and stuff like that, but like molecular mutations. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're probably going to create. I'm just kidding. We're probably going to create the X-Men. You know what I mean?
I doubt that actually. Now I think about it, because you have to have such thick walls underground and the retaining walls and all the steel and all that. I doubt that.
You would have to go really deep, though.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So it'll cost a shit ton of money. It won't work.
But maybe if you go so deep, then you can't even like transmit that energy back up. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Maybe through cables, though. You know how there's cables underground.
The fiber optics. Yeah. They have to do that.
Probably doesn't make sense, though.
The only reason I'm bringing this up is because maybe I'm mistaken, but I could have sworn I saw something about them creating like an incredibly humongous data center thing in Dubai in the next couple of years. I think they scrapped the line. Remember the line thing? And I think now they're just going to make it all these data centers.
That's interesting. I mean, they have more leeway over there, but there's more possibility that they're going to build data centers in space, basically on places like the moon and stuff like that. That's why there's a lot of exploration going on. Isn't that what you looked into?
We theorized on that. I don't think that's something.
I think that's the thing, though. No, let's look it up. Check
I
it out.
wasn't here. I wasn't here for that conversation, but.
I'm pretty sure, man.
I don't know how much I would bank on data centers on the moon. I mean,
maybe not the moon, but in space.
With the transmission back, then that's I think more so the problem. But,
right.
I mean, unless you're a believer, talking about conspiracy theories, unless you're a believer that there's a flat Earth and the filament and all of that.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
Though.
I believe in planets and stuff like that. I think there's planets.
Elon Musk is gonna try to do that. NVIDIA.
I don't think like a lot of the NASA footage of the astronauts in space is real, but
I wanted to go into that. What do you guys think about that? You don't think that's real?
I could pull up some clips and I could put them here of some really ridiculous stuff. There's even stuff of like rats on the outside of the International Space Station.
This guy's always bringing up rats for some reason.
Because they're small critters. I guess I did bring it up again. Yeah. But no, there's like literally like rats, like critters on the outside of the space shuttle. And you're like, what the fuck, So, but it doesn't mean that I don't.
Maybe you're talking about the first time or now.
No, now the first time is ridiculous. Anybody who believes that footage is ridiculous. I mean,
what about the dog in Russia? Spotting
that's real. Laika, her name is Laika. They sent her out, and they sent out a monkey. They sent out a monkey as well.
So fucked. But I get why they did it.
I get why they did it, but I don't know. I don't know. You had to do a dog,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That dog was a cute dog too.
Her name's Laika, and she'll always be remembered. You know that song? There's a song by Trent Muller. It's a famous song. Constantly thinking about you, and I can't get through this. It was like huge. It was like a house song. It was like, when we were growing up. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's about
So what I'm gathering is you believe they sent a dog and a monkey to space, and they got wherever they had to be.
Well,
Successfully,
Sergey,
but not
whatever the
human.
hell, is the first, not the first astronaut, but the first Argon. No. There's a different word for it, but he's the first guy to break orbit. The Russians did it all.
You
Yeah.
think the Russians did it all?
No, they did. That's what the space race was about.
Before us, though. No, I know it was about that, but the U.S. supposedly, we got to the moon before everybody else, and we're the only ones.
Yuri Gagarin. So, I'm sorry, it was Yuri Gagarin, the cosmonaut. That's the term.
Okay.
The Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin was the first human in space, orbiting Earth on April 12th, 1961, aboard Vostok 1. His pioneering flight lasted 108 minutes.
But we went to the moon. We beat them, is what the storyline is.
That's why there is a incredible campaign to make sure we won that space race, because at the end of the day, we're in the middle of a space race and a Cold War. And really, the space race was to flex the rockets. Look at our rockets. Our rockets
we won, though. We won because it blew up the economy of Russia.
Yeah,
that was our
won.
point.
We won, but also like the Soviet Union was dissolving.
Soviet Union, not even Russia. Yeah.
Yeah, the Soviet Union was dissolving. It was this. We were defeating this thing that was like already on its last legs. Maybe not on its last legs, but it was.
It was a paper tiger the whole time, is what it is.
And now, so are we to the world. Okay, Iran destroying our bases in the Gulf states. That makes us look like paper tigers,
Not really, because Iran's a lot stronger than people thought.
But
so they got wrong intel that they were just going to be like lame
ducks. But no, that's not what happened.
They have the topography to help them too.
We completely left the Gulf states alone to go defend a different country, and so we appear to people that we promised that we would protect them like a paper tiger. So
okay, that's what I'm
talking
about.
No, but regardless of how it looks, like they left, they couldn't protect it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like
that's not a paper tiger. That's just strategically doing something different than what they're.
I don't know, because they also couldn't protect the other place. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Well, I guess we kind of disagree. Let's see what the chat says. I mean, we don't even have a chat. We should add a chat, and that'll be like we'll get to see like what's going on with the.
But who would be part of the chat?
Well, we'll let people go on. We have to go live though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We should go live.
We should go live. I think we're at that point now where I think that'll get us some subscribers, right? People that are watching this and listening.
But you have to keep the schedule. You have to keep the schedule. Anyway, I know Nick has to go, so I don't want to get too off topic. But
Nick doesn't think we went to the moon. Is the point? Though.
I mean, that footage is not real footage of us at the. I mean, that's insane to say. I'm gonna put clips of these people like falling and like playing like they're like balloon animals on the moon. I mean, it's insane. It's like a string pulling them, and then they left the camp. Bro, just think about this. They recorded the camera, like they recorded the shuttle lifting off,
and
the camera was like still there recording. You could say they went back because there was many moon missions. You can say they went back and brought that footage back and all that stuff.
Right.
Okay. But if that was presented in a way of like to the American people, because you have to think about what they were watching at that time on live TV, that was like, look, and here it's leaving. It's got, it's like,
For the point of keeping, positioning the country to be at the top, I'm going to disagree with you.
No, but we didn't. But you're saying that, I'm going to say
for the point of this country to be at the top.
But
I disagree.
But see, you and I look at it differently. I look at the greatness of the CIA, of the Tucker Carlsons, of the John Kiriakus, of the Joe Kents.
John Kiriaku's that's a different character. I mean, he's cool though, but they put him in. I spoke to some people, and they're like, they're implying, and I know this is already on the internet, but they're implying he's with that Russian media company. What is it called? What's it called again?
I don't know.
No. Jesse Ventura was on it. The green emblem for the media company that's based out of Russia.
I don't know, but I've listened to his story a couple times, and they made sure that guy couldn't make any money. So
it's pretty screwed.
So right now they got him begging like a fucking dog to Emperor Trump.
I know.
And he has
I'm
to
being
suck
devil's
up
advocate for the group.
He has to suck up his morals and say how great Trump is all the time so he can get an audience with him. And I think that he finally got it, but not personally, just like whatever.
But he doesn't hate Trump that much. He disliked Obama more
No,
because
he
put him
hates
in prison.
Obama. Yeah, of course he hates Obama.
With Trump,
more than
he's
anybody.
kind of like flirting on the line, like, all right,
he's like, please help me. Please help me. Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
please help me. You know. But what I was gonna say is Tucker Carlson, John Kiriakis, Joe Kent, you know, these CIA people, or Tucker's father. Sorry. I look at it as greatness of, wow, look at us. We created the greatest Hollywood like mirage and we won the space race. See, I look at it differently. You're looking at it as like, oh, we had to be there because if not, we don't. No. We're so intelligent, and maybe that's somebody else helping us as well. Maybe a different country, or maybe somebody else, maybe an alien. I don't fucking know. But I'm just saying, we're so intelligent that we did that. You know, so that's the way I look at it.
Jose Feliciano, I think is his name. He's the potential. It's in the works right now, finalizing an agreement for $3.9 billion to own the San Diego Padres. So this would be a Latino MLB owner. It would be the second one right now. There's Artie Moreno at the Angel Stadium. Now there's Jose Feliciano, more than likely, who's going to be the Padres owner. A lot of people are happy about this because it's a billionaire owning it. The only contrary to it is he's a private equity owner. They're not sure if he's looking at it more so with a passion to actually make him succeed, or more so like Artie Moreno and suck out as much money from the team as possible for earnings purposes. So that's pretty cool. And with that said, Lucas Giolito, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but basically he's a Boston Red Sox player that's been traded now, or he's been sent over to the Padres for a 1-year deal around $3 million with the mutual option to extend for another year up to $8 million in 2027 with some performance escalators that he has to hit. So with that said, we're a real estate channel. He's only 31 years old. He's a right-handed pitcher. His ERA is like 3.4, I think it is. ERA, the lower it is, the better. That means like runs, the average runs in a 9-inning game, essentially. So that's pretty damn good. I think he's got a lot of potential. The Padres have a great rotation of pitchers now, and it's finally putting him in place to actually potentially win something because they never won a World Series. And we had Chris on our podcast who would always wear the Padres hat, and we would give him grief for that. But
wait, the Padres have never won a World Series?
No, they've been close.
No.
Not even one time.
Not even one time. Big problem. But Jose Feliciano, he's going to bring that Latin blood, that Latin energy. You know, they already have some great players that are Latino, but Lucas, I think he's Italian, Nick, so there you go. He's going to be a new player there. What's cool there, because we're a real estate channel, my prediction is based on San Diego, he's either going to move to La Jolla to rent a house for 1 year, just because it's only a 1-year contract with the extension of 1 year. So he's either going to get a house in La Jolla for $10,000 to about, I don't know, $16,000, 3-bed, 2-bath, beautiful house with the, you know, in the hills. It gives you that landscape of more privacy because people that, you know, drive into that area, they have to actually be living there versus, you know, other neighborhoods where there's a lot of streets and stuff. Or what he's going to do is move to Coronado where it's like $18,000 to $25,000 for a 3-bedroom home. And that's just as luxurious because it's a peninsula right across from downtown San Diego. And they call this place like Mexico City of San Diego because a lot of Mexican billionaires, multimillionaires, novela stars, they live there, as well as Americans, of course. But
what's it called?
Coronado. Beautiful area. It's like Billionaires Row there in terms of San Diego. But because he's not Latino, he's Italian, I feel like he'll probably go to La Jolla. So we'll see. There's a bridge you have to take.
More likely.
Yeah. But there's a lot of Americans that live in Coronado. It's just very exclusive. It's a lot smaller of a spot, and you do have to take this bridge, which is pretty insane. But it's cool. It's cool. So that's kind of my prediction there. He's going to do that instead of buying a house.
Okay. Well, We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The money to make a bet.
Yeah,
Bet
that'd be
some
great.
money.
Hopefully, I can find out where he ends up. Unless he becomes a client, then I won't say a damn thing. But in any case, AJ, what is your team, by the way?
If I had a team, it would have
Marlins?
been like probably 2000 and the 2000s
3?
Marlins. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
They won a World Series.
anywhere from 95 to 2006.
They're the
Yeah.
worst team. Well, they're like one of the worst teams, but they have such
But
a
they
good
were
stadium.
the best.
They were, yeah.
I mean, dude, like Mike Lowell, Dontrell Willis,
Mhm.
AJ Burnett when he was there for a bit. Okay.
Why do
you
they
know,
suck though? What happened? Do you know?
No clue. I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know. That old guard kind of when they left, I remember for a while, Mike Lowell has always been very active around Miami. Like you'll see him around. He's awesome. He rocks, genuine. He's like, how Mr. Worldwide Pitbull, everybody loves him in Miami. Mike Lowell was like that for the baseball community and Cubans and
I don't
stuff.
even know who Mike Lowe is, dude.
You know who Mike Lowell is?
I don't think so. LOWE?
Lowell.
Mhm.
Oh, Lowell. Mike Lowell. Oh yeah, I've seen him before.
What was his last name? Incarnation. I forget his first name. Incarnation.
So he's around in Miami all the time. Like people see him. He's like a well-known guy.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of those retired players are, but I don't even know if he's retired, honestly. But I mean, dude, I remember my dad, my stepdad, he had like season tickets. You know what I mean? Season passes, and either him and my mom would go, or we all three of us would go, and they'd bring me an extra. They'd take.
Well, look, he's on.
Nice.
He's on some podcast. Maybe you should try and bring him on. You're in Miami. You guys are all tight out there, no? Miami people are all tight, close knit community.
Maybe I'll see.
Bring him on,
it's
dude.
not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I'm sure I could find somebody that knows him.
Yeah, it'd be great. I think his son might be a baseball player too. We need to get more We need to get more baseball players on here.
But yeah, dude, those early 2000s, going to the Marlins arena, which was just the Dolphins arena. so you'd go watch the Marlins, and there's Dolphins logos all over the seats.
Mhm.
That's why they had to build the Marlins arena for the Marlins. Okay, so it was always funny, but dude, just go in there, Billy the Marlin, launching fucking t-shirts. You know what I mean? He rocked. It's rocked.
A wild spot there currently in the new stadium. They literally, Nick, have a nightclub in the outfield, literally. That opens up during the freaking game because they try and do everything they can to bring in people. But they have some of the best food.
All right, they do. But you asked what do I think? Maybe what do I think went wrong? Maybe instead of encompassing, it's also the location where it's at. But instead of encompassing like the people of Miami as a whole, it kind of leaned towards that like downtown. It's in it's around Little Havana area. Yeah, it kind of leaned into that like party Brickell downtown Little Havana Wynwood thing, and I've always been someone who's split between both those worlds because they're so prevalent in Miami, that like but another side of Miami is the salt life side.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they go hand in hand sometimes. Everybody parties and stuff like that, but I feel like the fans, it's so fancy, it's so new, everything is so, like you said, there's a club there, I don't know, maybe that. Oh, also the uniforms looked like shit for a while. I think they fixed them finally, but
I think they fixed them recently.
They came out with some terrible uniforms one season. I remember it was really bad
for a few seasons. But I think what it is a lot of the old, like, have you seen the meme? Like, I don't know what it says, but it goes, those who moved to Miami, and then it shows all like the craziness, and then those from Miami, and it shows all the Latinos with their espresso, and it's very old school vibe. Mm-hmm. But those are the people, I think is what you're saying. The management should have focused on those people. Like Melissa's grandmas, they're in their 90s. I think one of them's in their 90s, one's in their late 80s. Both of them, cool lady or grandmas, but they love baseball. They watch baseball. They watch the Marlins. They're like, oh, this team sucks, but still they follow it. And a lot of people in Miami do follow the team, but they don't really they have no passion for it. They have no loyalty
Yeah.
to them as much because I think they don't feel the loyalty back. And what was interesting is Derek Jeter, a Yankee, the captain of the Yankees, he owned the Marlins for a short period, and then something happened, and
I
they had to
remember
part
that.
ways. Yeah, they
Mhm.
parted
Yeah.
ways. He
You
didn't do
know,
well there
the only
because
way
of
the
management,
Marlins could come
supposedly.
back is either bring in a superstar,
Yeah,
put all your money and bring in a fucking superstar
Yeah.
and guess what? Miami has that money. So
yeah.
bring in that money, bring in a superstar or
Fernando something, his last name, forgot his name. I think he was going to bring Miami back in 2015-16. He died, unfortunately, on a yacht. I don't know
Mm.
if you recall, AJ, that he was like one of the best pitchers, Cuban pitcher. Like Melissa did a story on it, and I was actually excited to go watch him play. And then he died. Like tragedy. It was tragic. But he
wow.
was the face of the Marlins, and everybody was attracted to go there. Giancarlo Stanton was there before he went to the Yankees. It was becoming a thing where all the stars were going to start gravitating, and then he died, and then it just screwed it
Do
all
you
up.
I
think
mean,
it's some type
I'm
of curse or something like that?
No. He was
no.
partying. He was partying,
Yeah.
and they hit the rocks, and it was not good.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some Cuban did some Santeria on the Marlins or something, or
No.
I wouldn't be surprised. But it's
Sad.
crazy because think about Miami, and this is a huge selling point for jammers as well. Like, hey, let's go work in Miami, paradise. Don't you want to work
Yeah.
in paradise? Don't you want to live in paradise? Okay, what MLB superstar doesn't want to live in paradise? Doesn't want to I don't know, revitalize the city and feel that, greatness. You just gotta like pitch it to them. And I guess
Mhm.
Yeah,
nobody's pitched it.
maybe we should work on getting this to become a bigger podcast, and then maybe one day we can own the Marlins. Little stakeholder like Patrick Bet David. He wears all the Yankee logos. He owns a small stake in the Yankees, but you would think he's the owner.
Yeah.
Interesting.
True.
Well, I know who's his owner. So
All right, moving on. What else?
dude,
What else?
that's for coming after John Kiriakou like that, Patrick Bet David.
I know.
Yeah.
Bitch ass. Yeah, it's not much to say. To be completely honest with you, I can't tell you how like the Microsoft stocks are, but you probably can. And I'm pretty sure it's part of some 500, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. S&P 500. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if they
So-
got out. I mean, I'm sure they're still in the S&P 500.
I think so.
They used to be in something else.
But Microsoft Xbox has been taking like the Xbox IP, like the image of Xbox. Dude, when I log into my Xbox, it tells me I've been loyal for 17 years.
Wow.
That's actually I've been loyal even more because I made a new account, so it's probably even like 3 or 4 years more than that. Okay,
20.
but
Let's say 20.
let's say 20. But I've been loyal to Xbox my whole life. Xbox has been taking L's. One of the biggest L's culturally, okay, was the game Halo has always been a Xbox exclusive. The way Gears of War has always been an Xbox exclusive. There's always been these Xbox exclusive games. Now they're coming to PlayStation. That's why there's a Halo Combat Evolved or a Halo, whatever. There's a new Halo game coming out. That's just a remake of the first one, but it's for PlayStation and Xbox games. So constant L's. Okay, Microsoft charge people a bunch of money for their memberships. We're like, dude, it's not even that worth it. Okay, they've a lot of L's. In comes this new CEO after all these L's. Okay, Halo Studios, the studio that is supposed to be their biggest IP. L's. In comes this new CEO. It's a woman. I forget her name.
Wait,
Sorry,
the CEO of Xbox or
Microsoft? Of Microsoft.
Really? She superseded the guy. I don't know his name, but his ethnicity is from India.
She's also Indian. Her name is Satya Nadella.
Are you sure she's the CEO? For sure.
Yes,
Okay.
She's the new CEO. Yeah.
Well, this is brand new. Then.
As of April 2026, Satya Nadella remains the chairman and chief executive officer of Microsoft Corp.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Satya Nadella? Who the hell is that?
There's the Indian guy that's ethnicity.
Wait, here it is right here. Blogs.microsoft.com. Asha Sharma. Her name is, sorry, that's what it is. Sorry, it's Indian name.
Satya Nadella is the chairman, still
That's
the
the
same
guy.
chairman and CEO.
That's the
That's
guy.
the guy
But
I'm
look,
talking about.
he's on Microsoft.com right now, right? It says Asha Sharma named EVP and CEO Microsoft Gaming.
There you go.
Sorry, of Microsoft Gaming.
Gaming, yeah.
Okay, I guess that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Still a big deal, though. I mean, that's still a big deal.
But anyway, I mean, their stock price is doing pretty well.
Yeah,
So-
let me go back and look at that.
So everybody was like, so one of the first things this girl, Asha, or is that her name? Yeah, one of the first things this woman Asha, it was revealed that she's not a gamer. So a lot of people, everybody was like, "Oh, what the fuck? It's a girl. She's not a gamer." But it looks like in her most recent, you know, like what she's done most recently has been positive. So just to give you an example, what she's done is there's, like I described, there's a few cultural and aesthetic things wrong with Xbox right now. But aside from that is Game Pass. She lowered the Ultimate Game Pass price from $29.99 to $21.99 or $22. It was like an $8 decrease or something like that. Kind of huge.
Saving money for people.
Yeah, kind of huge. And now you can choose what kind of package you want. Oh, I want to be able to stream these games, but I don't want to play the computer games or whatever kind of thing, you know? So that's the first thing. Second of all, she revealed a new logo. Now, a lot of people don't care.
That logo's sick. That logo's sick.
I agree. It brings us back to that, you know, Monster Energy drink, early 2000s, Linkin Park vibe. That you know, but the big thing is, what was the logo before? It was this very minimalistic thing, right? This very boring white green thing. Now we have this like dark weird thing, and they're trying, and they're trying to shift this thing of like the big corporate Microsoft, right? They want to be like, okay, Microsoft gaming is no more. Now it'll be Xbox gaming. Like it'll be the personality of the Xbox. They're trying to revamp the image.
I like that.
Of course,
the separation. Gaming and Microsoft, two different things.
Church and state. The Microsoft church has nothing to do with the state of Xbox. You know what I mean? So, and this has been a topic that, you know, the original developers of Halo, Bungie, you know, they when Microsoft and them working together, they could, after they separated, they could never really get the Microsoft out of them.
Yeah,
because I'm saying this corporate structure that you work with, and anyway,
it's a woman though, because sometimes women are better at understanding and listening. And she maybe said, "I understand the audience being probably primarily men. Yeah. They want to save a buck because things are difficult right now, and I want to make it more cater the marketing to them, make them excited,
visually,
make AJ's excited, you know."
Yeah,
and it
that's
worked.
a good. I mean, that's a top of the line product manager, right? So
product manager, and that's what you do for a living, right, Nick?
Yep. Exactly. But wasn't so? Tell me if I'm wrong on this, but Xbox was its own company. Microsoft acquired it, right? Back in like.
No, I think Microsoft has. I think Xbox has always been.
Always been Microsoft.
I think so. I mean, I'm sure at some point there was somebody who created the Xbox, but I'm pretty sure it came from inside. Yeah, I think it came from inside Microsoft. Yeah. The thing is, Halo, also Bungie. They originally had this game called Marathon, you know, and that ends up turning into Halo. So Halo was this big Microsoft IP. I mean, at the end of the day, what is Microsoft? What is Bill Gates? Master Chief is a genetically modified super soldier who was kidnapped from his parents, cloned, and he fights aliens in outer space with like a fascist, you know, government. If you want to call the UNSC that, you know, and so that's Microsoft's flagship, and we all love that, you know. So, but now it sucks.
Yeah, no, it was originally by Microsoft. I was thinking maybe of Sega and Nintendo, possibly, but never mind. Scratch that.
Nintendo. I don't know. Nintendo's owned by.
Well, Microsoft's American, right? It's American.
Yeah,
Sony's Japanese.
Right.
And Nintendo is also Japanese, if I'm not mistaken. So for me personally, I've always, and my friends make fun of me, I've always enjoyed the American aesthetics of Microsoft with the user interface of Microsoft, like the user interface. It's easy for my American brain, whereas like, you know,
over Sony,
Capcom games, Sony games, you know, Nintendo games, they have this user interface that's like a lot going on, and it's all these things that they're asking you, because over there that's how their stuff is, you know. For us, we are more of a minimalistic thing, and
I can bet then when it comes
can't take
to
on too many
growing
things
up.
at once.
What would you say?
I said can't take on too many things at once.
Oh, sorry.
I can bet though, when you were growing up, you liked import cars more than, or I'm sorry, you liked muscle cars over imports, right? Or did you like imports?
Me or Nick?
No, you AJ.
Me, I didn't like cars. I like guns.
Okay, very American still. I was gonna say if you chose muscle cars, then you like. Wait, as a kid, you like guns?
Dude,
I had digital guns, I guess. I had a lot of.
I had a lot of BB guns as a kid, because back in the early 2000s,
I forgot about those.
Yeah, we could run around. Me and my friends would come over. We'd load up the BB guns. We'd have manhunt in the building, and we'd shoot each other with guns, and no cops would ever be called.
Yeah,
you know,
things are different.
Yeah,
dude.
I would have my friend who pissed us off in the group, whoever was bad that day. I don't know. We would have them run through like a grassy area, and we would just shoot the hell out of them, and just it was just fun. It was a good.
Just Andrew tapping into his inner Mexican cartel.
Yeah, exactly.
No, dude.
No, I had a lot of those too. I had pellet guns, BB guns, the ones with the scope. Freaking taking out squirrels with them. Oh man.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so typical American. That's good. Good stuff. Okay, Microsoft over everything else. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we might be canceled for this. Need to scope somebody related to that.
If I'm not mistaken, Microsoft is also Activision. If I'm not mistaken.
There's Activision and Blizzard. I don't know. Look it up, Nick.
So, yeah, let me see.
You know, Nick, when he got on the podcast, he was going to be the producer of the show, and that never worked out. But let's see what he does right now.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Microsoft completed its acquisition of Activision Blizzard for $75.4 billion on October 13th, 2023, making it the third largest gaming company by revenue. So that's what I was going to say. So Microsoft owns World of Warcraft. It owns Call of Duty. It owns Overwatch. It owns Halo. It's basically the Disney of gaming. And it's kind of a one-stop shop for people, you know? Like, what else do you really need? And their biggest, right now, you know, I would say Microsoft's biggest gaming IP, my cousin, I asked him, what do you think their biggest gaming IP right now is? He's like, probably Fallout. And I think he's right, because there's a series for it. Walton Goggins. If you see his face, you're associating it with Fallout, and inadvertently you're associating it with Microsoft. So with Bethesda Studios, which is Microsoft. So
right. Well, what I like though, the future when it comes to money, business, economics, everything, it's gaming and sports. That's the future, and AI, of course,
and streaming. Streaming will soon, you know. Streaming is an untapped. Look at Clavicular, not to mention him again, but streaming is an untapped thing. Like, we don't even know how people will be able to make money. You know, for all we know, like, you'll be streaming and a restaurant will hit you up and be like, "Hey, shout out my name really quick, and I'll give you $7,000." That's probably already kind of happening.
It is happening, sort of. But you got to be, you got to be like a celebrity though in order to make that type of money.
Yeah,
unless
you're like an influencer. You know, a lot of followers,
or a well-known brand, like a company. You know,
exactly.
But
anything. I mean, if you think about it, anything to keep the population occupied, right?
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
You see how Nick's trying to
smart person.
You see how Nick's trying to steer Nick's trying to steer the podcast in a good place, and you keep trying to shut this down, dude.
Nick is Nick has switched it up completely over the years, a couple of years doing this, because he was not like this before, going to the controversial grounds. I'm trying to steer everything back. I'm trying to get back to.
I'm trying to tell Andrew, dude,
playing the course.
Like, you bring the schizos in here, and they'll take care of us. You know, the schizos, because they're loyal, and then in the meantime, you can just literally focus on baseball and finance. And the schizos are like, "Yeah, that's so true. I'm going to start watching baseball, Andrew." but No, I mean, I'm glad Nick is revitalized by some taboo topics.
I think
There you
Nick
go.
has gotten encouraged by
Spice it up a
AJ.
little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. What are we touching on now? Are we gonna close it out?
I think we're good. This was a
Okay.
good one. Let's grow that subscriber base, everybody. Let's get to 100 episodes here soon. I mean, we got to get there. It's happening.
How many subscribers are there right now?
382 or 380. No, I'm sorry. 832 or 831.
Dude, that's a lot.
Or 831. It's
Yeah.
not bad.
That's a lot. What is that? Just people that like you do business with, and you're like, yo, I got a podcast. Check it out.
Some of them, I would say, probably 30% of my like maybe clients, but also
and then friends, family,
people, friends. Yeah, 30%
That's
of
a lot,
mine,
dude.
3% of Nick's, maybe 0.5% of you. I'm just kidding. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know these people.
Just think about it. Just think about it like this. Not to say,
but they're great. I love having them here. Thank you, everyone watching and listening. If you even got to this point,
just think about it like this: if you were to start like a new podcast, right, and get a new following, and let's say there were 1,000 people that followed you, and each 1,000 people were going to pay we're going to pay $50 each of them.
For what? The subscriber base?
Yeah.
$50 like a year? Yeah,
no, like for the month. No, just bear with me. Let's just say you're offering
$50. I think it's a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, but let's just say
$20, $30.
What's 50 times 1,000? 5,000?
5,000. No, I mean 50,000.
Wait, now let's say there's 2,000 viewers and subscribers.
Right.
And they're each paying $25. That's 50.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I get your point. Your point is you just need more subscribers and then you need them to pay.
That's how it works.
But what are you offering that there's something that they would be willing to give money, even if it's not a subscription, even if it's like, oh guys, tip, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what it is. You want me to tell you what it is?
Yeah.
I think what's nice about this podcast, especially right now, Nick has his own way of thinking. AJ, you have your own creative way outside the domain of finance and economics and like logic when it comes to numbers and stuff. And I mean that in a good way because you're a creative guy. I come more with the like logic of numbers itself, kind of boring if you want to call it. You're on the other side, creativity. Maybe Nick's more in the middle-ish. I don't know. But everybody has their own little part in this cog of a wheel. And what I'm saying is all the stuff we come up, we probably give some good advice between us three because we're very different. And people that ask us questions, if we start doing live in the chat, I think people that ask questions, they could pay and we can give them some tips and advice and stuff like that. I think that would be helpful.
I think that's good. No, and I think it's a good idea to start going live, at least get it once a week.
And that's how you grow a base the best.
100%. And it boosts you.
The
algorithm boosts you. Yeah.
We've never done live.
Mm-hmm. Obviously, we just have to be more careful. And I wouldn't be able to smoke on the live. You can't smoke, but you know what I mean? Just stuff like that.
Yeah, we got to be more. Yeah, we definitely got to be careful in what we do there. All right. Well, this was good. Who wants to close it out? AJ, you want to close it out? Let's see if we get a subscriber just from what you say right now.
Like, share, and subscribe. You want to. This is a good conversation piece. This is a good group of people. Just like, share, and subscribe. But I thought
you were going to say something really special, but okay. All right. That's very Nick of you.